morning, and welcome to Buckeye Wars. Hey, do you like guns? Do you collect guns? Do you go pew pew and shoot guns? Well, hey, my dad for a period of time thought he was Wyatt Earp, and we lived close to Folsom, California. DORADO Hills is right next door to Folsom, California, and Folsom, California was one of the major hubs of cowboys in the wild west, if you will. And we had a rodeo in Folsom, an annual rodeo, and my dad thought that was just really cool. And we went to the rodeo on an annual basis several times, and not necessarily every year, but several times, and kind of got my dad thinking he was a cowboy. He wore a cowboy hat and he looked quite nice. He liked cowboy boots, wore jeans, and kind of thought he was a cowboy. And as a result, he wanted to have the apparel of a cowboy, and he made a display in our living room to the left of our fireplace. He had a Colt 45 in a holster. He had some spurs. He had a Winchester 30-30, cowboy hats. Even went and bought a lariat. You know those ropes that the rodeo riders use to rope the cattle. He had one of those display, beautiful display. But by buying the Colt 45, it kind of got him thinking about guns and wanting to go out to the rifle range, because he had done some plinking with his brother over the years, and really liked to shoot at targets and bottles and cans and stuff like that if you were out in the wilderness. And so over a short period of time, we ended up having a Colt 45. We had a 44 Magnum. We had a kind of a cop gun, one of those 38 specials. We had a Winchester 30-30. We had a 30-06. I think it even had a scope on it. We had a 12-gauge shotgun. We had a 20-gauge shotgun. And then Dad was kind enough to get my brother and I one for us to share, a Marlin bolt-action 22 Magnum. Now, a 22 Magnum is a step up from a 22. A 22 fires shorter bullets. A 22 Magnum is a little bit bigger bullet and has a little more oomph. Now, this gun held, I believe, 12 in the Magnum, or in the magazine, and it was bolt action, so bang, bang. And we would go to the rifle range, and we would get paper targets and set them up at certain distances on the rifle range, and we would plink. We would shoot them targets, and by golly, we got pretty good at it. But for a kid to shoot these pistols, boy, a pistol has a real kick to it. I can remember firing that 44 Magnum. Good God, about threw me on my ass. It was really like a cannon. And then a couple of times Dad paid a little extra, and we went to the part of the range where we could shoot skeet. Now, what that is it's a clay. They call it a clay pigeon, but in actuality, it's a disc, and it's made out of clay, kind of like ceramic disc, maybe about 4 inches across and thin, and maybe about an inch tall. and it's like a little frisbee, and they've got a device that shoots those into the air, and you got to try to knock them out of the air with a shot from the shotgun. By God, that's hard. That's tough to do. But boy, was that fun for a kid. Oh, and we got quite proficient at it. We could shoot us some skeet because Dad took us to the rifle range and included us in things that he found nifty and helped us boys become men. Wonderful.